with the MCQs today on heredity.
The first question which you are having is, if a normal cell of human body contains 46 pairs of chromosomes, then the numbers of chromosomes in a sex cell of a human being is most likely to be, options are 60, 23, 22 and 40. Now what is the first thing which we will see in this question? That is, what is the total number of chromosomes which is given in human cell. Okay, so 46 pairs of chromosomes are given. So the normal cell of every human, like in case of every human, the normal cell count is 46 pairs of chromosomes. That means all the normal cells are having 46 pairs of chromosomes in every human being. So what will be the number of chromosomes in particularly sex cell? If 46 is the total number, that means diploid 2n will be is equal to 46. Thereby sex cell will be half of 46. That means 46 divided by 2, which gives us how much? 23. So our answer here will be 1B, that is 23. Okay. Coming to the next thing. Number 2. In the human blood grouping, the 4 basic blood types are A, B, AB and O. So the blood proteins A and B are simple dominant and recessive traits, codominant traits, recessive traits or inherited traits. Now in this case, the blood proteins A and B both are dominant over each other. That means both are unable to cancel each other completely. So thereby what is playing role here? A factor of codominance is playing a role here. That means our answer will be that the blood proteins A and B are codominant traits. They are codominant traits. So here our answer is. Coming to the next question, what will be the number of chromosomes present in each gamete produced by the plants if palisade cells of a species of plant contain 28 chromosomes in all? So again, it's just like the same as the first question. What is the total number of chromosomes which is being said here? 28 chromosomes. So thereby, what will be the number of chromosomes present in each gamete then? That means each sex cell then? Obviously 28 divided by 2. That means half of total number of chromosomes. Then answer is 14. So our answer is 3C, 14. Coming to the next question, a cross between a tall plant and short plant resulted in progeny that were all tall plants. As why it happened that the result was that all tall plants were produced? Option A, tallness is the dominant trait. B, shortness is the dominant trait. C, tallness is the recessive trait. And D, height of the plant is not governed by gene T or T. So first of all, D gets cancelled. C also get cancelled because tallness cannot be the recessive trait. If tallness would have been the recessive trait, then the progeny would not have been that all tall plants were produced. All tall plants would not have been produced. When the result will be coming as all tall plants will be produced? Whenever the tallness is acting as a dominant factor. So thereby tallness is the dominant trait will be the answer. B will not be the answer. Why? Because shortness is the dominant trait it's given. If shortness would have been the dominant trait, then the progeny would have produced what? Dwarf plants. But here it said that the progeny, in case of the progeny, the tall plants were produced. So obviously tallness is the dominant trait would be our answer. Coming to number 5. So in peas, a pure tall plant TT is crossed with a pure short plant small t. The ratio of the pure tall plants to pure short plants in F2 generation will be. Now this has to be explained by doing the cross between the two. So we will move on to the cross. So here you can see that F1 generation, what is the thing? Tall plant. So the tall plant, which is TT, crossed with another what? Dwarf plant, which is TT. So in both case, what we are having? We are having what? We are having this one. That means resultant in F2 generation, when this cross is happening, we are getting 3 tall and 1 dwarf. But see about the that means genes. If you see, check out the genes. What was the question? The question was that what is the ratio of the pure tall plants to pure short plants? Pure tall means TT, capital T will be the gene, and in case of pure short plants means small tt will be the gene. So see how many, if we just see that capital TT, how many capital TT we are having? Only one. And how many short TT we are having? That means the dwarf which we are having, that is also 1. So what will be the ratio in this case? 1:1. So our answer will be what? 1:1. Okay. So when the pure plant is crossed with a pure tall plant is crossed with a pure short plant, the ratio of the pure tall plants with compared to the ratio of the pure short plants will be 1:1. So this is the explanation and this is the answer. Coming to the next question. In human males, all the chromosomes are paired perfectly except one. These unpaired chromosomes are. So we know that in human beings there are 23 pairs of chromosomes. Among that, 22 pairs are known as autosomes. Autosomes means what? Those chromosomes which are similar in structure and function. And one pair is there which is having what? Which is known as sex chromosome. So in case of female, the sex chromosome is XX. So it's same only. But in case of male, so they have asked you what? In human males, all the chromosomes are paired perfectly except one. So what is that unpaired chromosome? X and Y. So thereby our answer will be option number C, that is 3 and 4, X and Y chromosome. Okay. Now number 7. Which is the one characteristic of the parents that can be inherited by their children? So options are deep scar on chin. Whenever any parent is having deep scar on chin, that means it can be related to or due to that deep scar is due to anything. Maybe the parent fell down somewhere or some way he or she got hurt. So obviously it cannot be inherited to the children. Number 2, snub nose. Snub nose means when you have like upper portion of your nose is kind of blunt. So that can be an inherited one because that is not related to anything, that is a gene related thing only. Coming to the technique of swimming, obviously nobody technique you cannot inherit. You can learn technique but you cannot inherit the technique from your parents. And cut nose, if your parents are having a cut nose, it's not that you will also have a cut nose. When you will be born, you will not have a cut nose. So that can also that also cannot be inherited. So the only option which we are getting here, that the snub nose which can be inherited by the children from the parents. Okay. So number 7 is B, that is snub nose. Coming to number 8. So 2 pink colored flowers on crossing resulted in 1 red. It will be 1 red. I missed out. Just a minute. I will make the correction. Just a minute. It will be, question number 8 will be 1 red it will be. Okay. Yeah. So done. Okay. So so what we are having? We are having that 2 pink colored flowers on crossing resulted in 1 red and 2 pink, and one white flower progeny. The nature of the cross will be. Now here you have to again cross it. So two pink colored flowers were there, which resulted on crossing gave one red, two pink and one white flower progeny. The nature of the cross will be. So see, basically it is an incomplete dominance which is acting here. So in case of incomplete dominance, the cross between plants with pure red and white flowers results in F1 generation plants with all pink flowers. The F1 generation, if you do, I will show you the picture in the next case also. I mean below it is there. So whenever a red plant is getting a red flower is getting crossed with a white flower, pure white flower, in F1 generation the resultant is that all the progeny will be pink flowers. So the self-pollination or fertilization of these plants results in progenies in F2 generation with red, pink and white flowers. And the ratio of this is 1:2:1. So obviously our correct answer will be self-pollination. Now how it is happening? See, red color flower we are having, and this is the parental generation, white color flower we are having. So when these two, from CR we are getting what? 1 CR, and from CW, that means white one, we are getting CW. So when these two are combining, that means red and white are combining, CW is combining, what we are getting? One pink. So the progeny in F1 generation is pink flower. From the pink flower, what gametes we are getting? CR and CW. So again, when self fertilization is occurring, okay, no cross fertilization, when these are self fertilized, that means from CR we will get one CR, from CW we will get one CW. So check it out. In F2 generation, what is the result which is having? So CR is there and CW in both ways, horizontally also, vertically also we have written it. One CR/CW in the egg portion and one CR/CW in the sperm portion. Now when we are combining the first table, CR and CR, see it's giving one red flower. So CR means red, it will be giving red. When CR/CW, that means pink. Again in the next case we are having, next table we are having CW/CR, so that means pink. And lastly CW/CW means white. So check it out again, I am showing it. So when one red was combined with white, we got two genes, that is CR, which means the red one, CW means the white one. When these two combined, these two gametes combined or with each other, what was the resultant? CR/CW. That means in F1 generation the resultant was pink flower. Now from this pink flower we are getting the gametes CR and CW. They are undergoing self-pollination or self-fertilization in F2 generation, and thereby resulting in one red flower, two pink flowers and one white flower. Okay, so thereby what will be the answer when this can happen? Self-pollination. So one red flower, two pink flowers and one white flower are the progenies which we get in F2 generation when the red and white flower is combining, and also whenever self pollination is occurring. If it was cross pollination it would have been different, but self pollination results in the progenies of one red, two pink and one white flower. Coming to the next question, number 9. So the two versions of trait which are brought in by female and male gametes are situated at. So the two versions of trait, that means from male gamete will be getting one trait, from the female gamete will be getting another trait. So there are two versions of trait. So they are situated where? They are situated, options are copies of same chromosome, two different chromosomes, sex chromosomes or any chromosomes. So obviously when the two versions of trait which are brought in by the female and male gametes are coming, they are getting situated at what? Copies of the same chromosome. So our answer for question number 9 is A, copies of the same chromosome. Okay, so the two versions of trait that means the characters which are brought in by the male and the female gametes are situated on the copies of the same chromosome. Coming to number 10. From below, select the character that is acquired, not inherited. So first of all, you should know the meaning of acquired and inherited. So acquired means which you adapt by staying there within the environment after your birth, and inherited means which is present from your birth only. That means with that only you are born. So color of eye, color for color of skin, size of body, and nature of hair. So here they are asking that the character which is acquired and not inherited. See, color of eye can be inherited from your parents. Color of skin is also inherited from the parents. Size of the body, it does not depend. Suppose many parents are there who are having a good figure, but the child is obese, or just the opposite. That means the parents are fat and but the child is what? The child is having a very good figure, and the child is, even sometimes the child very good figure in the sense the child is thinner. Okay, the child who is born is thinner. So that totally depends upon what you acquire, what is the nutrient which you are having or something like that. So size of the body cannot be inherited, it can be acquired only. Nature of hair is also inherited. So number 10 is size of the body. Okay, the next question which we are having is, if a round green seeded plant is crossed with wrinkled yellow seeded plant, and they have already given you the gene. So round green, that means here the round is the dominant, R is the dominant, and green means the recessive, and the yellow seeded plants means small r and capital Y. So here you have to go for the connection, the cross you have to do, and what the answer you will be finding, you have to check it out. Okay, so whenever capital R and small y is getting crossed with the yellow seeded plant, wrinkled yellow seeded, that is wrinkled means small r and yellow is the dominant here. So what will be the characters which we are getting in F1 generation? In case of F1 generation, always remember that the dominant characters rule in case of F1 generation. So obviously round will be the one character which we will be getting, and yellow will be the one which in the second character we will be getting. So our answer will be round and yellow. The seeds which will be produced in F1 generation are round and yellow. See, if a round green seeded pea plant is crossed with wrinkled yellow seed plant, the seeds produced in F1 generation will be round and yellow. Okay, round and yellow. Coming to number 12. New species may be formed if DNA do not undergo significant changes in germ cells, chromosomes number changes in gametes, there is no change in genetic material, mating does not take place. First of all, the question they have asked that new species may be formed. So when are new species formed? That means similar species are formed if everything is getting normal, like everything is normal with the DNA is do not undergoing any significant change, no changes in the genetic material, nothing is happening. But new species will only be forming if chromosome number will be changing in gametes. So if the number of chromosomes changes in gametes, that means mutation is occurring, then obviously new species will be forming. So our answer will be number 2. That means B. 12 will be B. Chromosomes number changes in gametes. Coming to number 13 question. Which of the following is totally impossible outcome of Mendel's experiment? So in case of Mendel's experiment, we always know that either tall or short, that can be the answer. Okay, so 3 tall 1 short, yes, obviously 3:1 ratio. 24 and 8, if you see that, so that is when we are doing ratio of 24 and 8, that is 24 is to 8, you will see that is also 3:1, because 8 gets cancelled. If we cut 24 with 8, then 3 and 8 will be cut with 8, so 1, so 3:1. Then 8 tall, 0 short. Yes, that can also be possible. Number 4, that means D, is 4 tall and 1 medium height. In case of Mendel's experiments, either it's tall or short. No medium thing is there. Okay. So obviously by this we can understand that 4 tall and 1 medium height, that is totally impossible outcome of Mendel's experiments. So our answer will be what? Our answer will be 4 tall and 1 medium height. Coming to what is the answer? What is the reason? There is no blending inheritance present in Mendelian process. So a tall plant crossed with a dwarf plant will give either a tall or a dwarf plant, but not any medium heighted plant. Okay, so no blending inheritance is there. Thereby D will be the answer. Coming to 14 number question. Which of the following is not a direct conclusion that can be drawn from Mendel's experiment? So from this 4, whatever is there in the option, for this question you need to know what were the conclusions in case of Mendel's experiment. First you need to know that. If you are clear about the conclusions which were there in Mendel's experiment, by seeing only you can answer. As I can say the answer by seeing the options only. Natural selection, first and foremost, it was not under Mendel. If you know, it's there under evolution. So Mendel's experiment was related to traits or any two copies of trait or recessive dominant trait that will get, but this natural selection was not there. I mean, it was rarely, it was like indirectly, not direct conclusion it was. Okay, so 14 will be number D. Now the reasons, for that you need to know the conclusion. So what were the conclusions? First of all, law of dominance. So a cross between contrasting alleles of the same trait will result in progeny expressing only one trait, that is dominant. So in F1 generation, remember we did one question just few minutes back, that when the round green seeds, which was RR small yy, was crossed with wrinkled, that is small r small r wrinkled yellow, that is small r capital Y. So when they were crossed, the progenies which were formed in F1 generation were what? As I said during that time, that in case of F1 generation only the dominant one rules. So capital R, which represented round, and capital Y, which represented yellow, that one will be only dominating. So the answer would have been round and yellow. Okay, so here also it said like that, that the dominant one is only expressed in case of F1 generation. Coming to number 2, law of purity gamete. So even every sexually reproducing organism produces gametes which are true for the traits they carry. Okay, and the fusion of male and female gametes results in 2 copies in the progeny. Coming to the recessive trait, it is always expressed in homozygous condition. So either to TT, that means similar, homozygous means similar or same. So small t, small r, small s, like that. Coming to the natural selection, it is a concept of Charles Darwin. Remember, natural selection was not under Mendel first of all. It was just under Charles Darwin, where nature selects certain traits which were there for better adaptation. That means so the animals or the living organisms could adapt themselves, and it was useful for their survival. So be it be recessive trait or a dominant trait, so it was totally dependent upon the nature. So it was under Charles Darwin. So here only by this we can say that the correct answer is natural selection can alter the frequency of any an inherited trait. So thereby it was not a direct, that means option number D was not a direct conclusion which could be drawn from Mendel's experiment. Coming to 15 number question, which section of DNA provides information for one protein? So by seeing option only we know DNA means where will be the protein, I mean information for one protein will be given by whom or provided by whom? Gene. Okay, so gene is the answer. The information to make proteins is stored in an organism's DNA. Each protein is coded for a specific, for each protein is coded for by a specific section of DNA called gene. So each of the proteins are coded with a specific section of DNA that is known as gene. So a gene is the section of DNA which is required to produce one protein. So that's for today. I did all 15 questions. More questions will be coming in the next session of MCQ. So if you want more, please comment down in the section below if you want to solve more questions. I hope this helped you out. If not, then also let me know about that. But I really hope this helped you out.